Hi everybody, I'm Mrs. Talley. I'm going to walk through taking some notes with you today, but before we get started I want to just show you the notebook so you can see exactly what should be in there at this point. So let's get started. Alright, so here is the notebook. A couple of empty pages. And then our topic 1, lesson 1, understanding quantities and their relationships was the first notes that you were supposed to take. And then topic 1, lesson 2, analyzing sorting graphs. Topic 1, lesson 3, recognizing functions and function families. And that was 2 pages long. Some notes on function notation. And attributes of graphs. And then there was a bunch of pages on function families. So our first function family was linear functions, and then quadratic functions, absolute value functions, exponential functions, and then the last page was just a bunch of other kinds of relations. And that was it for all the notes so far on topic 1. Today we're going to start topic 2. So turn the page and have a cover page for your topic 2, module 1, topic 2, sequences. It might be nice if you have a sticky note, to put a sticky note there so that you know that the next test you have is going to start here in your notebook. So our first notes in that section, we're going to label topic 2, lesson 1. Recognizing patterns and sequences. Okay, so the first thing is a couple definitions. The first thing that we're going to define is sequence. So I'm going to highlight that. So if you have highlighters and colors, it's really going to make your notes pop. It'll be easier to find things. So a sequence is a pattern involving an ordered arrangement of numbers, geometric figures, letters, or other objects. Okay, and we'll look at an example of that in just a second. So term in a sequence is the next thing we want to define. And that's an individual number figure or letter in the sequence. And I'll highlight that. Now we're going to look at an example. So I like to put an EX, leave a couple spaces because we're going to want to write our sequence and have some space above to do some explanation and a little space below to do some explanation. So I like to use EX for example and just block it off. So here's our sequence. 25, 21, 17, 13, 9, 5, and 1. This is a sequence of numbers. Each one of these is a term in the sequence. So we defined up here a term in a sequence. Each one of these is an individual number in the sequence. So these are called the terms. And each one of those terms could be given a number. So this would be our first term. So we could call that term 1. Term 2, and so on. And here is our 7th term. So 1 is our term 7, or our 7th term in that sequence. So now just a little bit of information. A sequence can be written in a table, and we're going to do that in a second, with the term number as the independent quantity and the term value as the dependent quantity. So the term number, independent quantity. The term value, dependent quantity. So when you make a table, independent quantity comes first, so that's going to be our term number. And if you don't like to write out the word number, you can use the pound symbol, now called a hashtag, and then we have the term value. So our term number will always start with 1. Those are the same numbers as we wrote up here, term 1, term 2, term 3, and so on. So we just put those into the table, and then we put the value, so that term 1 was a 25, so I'm going to write that one first. Our term 2 was 21. 17, 13, 9, 5, and 1. Independent quantity first, dependent quantity second. If I made a table of values going vertically instead, the independent quantity goes first and our dependent quantity goes second. Okay, so that's a good start. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about infinite and finite sequences. So let's turn the page, and we're going to call this Topic 2, Lesson 1 Continued. And instead of writing out the word topic and lesson, we're going to say T2 and L1.